in the ages, where mystical creatures freely roamed the world, where fairies whisked past the lands, where mermaids dared to swim to the shores, and where dragons bravely soared the infinite skies. Everything that existed was good, and everything was of the light. Until one elf wanted more. Born to a warrior clan of elves, she inherited the abilities of healers and was blessed with the gifts of the forest. The prince fell in love with her, and all of the kingdom celebrated their union, and she was able to practice her magic and use her talents more as she rose to royalty and was loved by all. Then the prince fell suddenly ill and was beyond saving, and when the inevitable came, she crumbled. She searched for ways to bring her prince back to life, even creating her own type of sorcery along the way. Dark, evil magic. But alas, not only can she not bring him back, she is enthralled by the wizardry she birthed, wanting more and more and more, and eventually drowning in her own creation, never able to go back to being good, and never wanting to go back to the light. Hi my pastries! Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, feel free to hit the little subscribe button down below, and if you want to be notified whenever I upload new videos, go ahead and click the little bell button too. I will be doing 3 looks in today's video, as you can see in the intro. I hope you enjoyed that little really cringy acting thing sort of I did. I will post timestamps right here or here for each of those looks if you're just interested with one of them, and if you want to see how I did them, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so let us get started with my first elf look, and I already moisturized my face. So right now I am just using primer, and I am using a combination of 2 primers. One is pore filling because, well, I have large pores, and the second one is mattifying because I'm also very oily. And now I have already filled in my eyebrows magically, and now I am just applying some of the NYX Eyeshadow Base. If you don't have any other eye primer, you can actually use your own concealer for this too. Next, I am just setting the base or the primer with a skin tone eyeshadow. You can actually use powder if you don't have any eyeshadow available. That's, you know, same with your skin tone. I'm using the NYX blush in the shade Mocha as my transition shade, so I am just buffing that into my crease and also blending that just a bit upwards just so it warms up my whole eye. And I'm also using the white eyeshadow from the Crimson Amulet collection palette that's inspired by the dark shadows, and I'm just placing that all over the lid below the crease area. Then I am taking a warm brown eyeshadow shade and I am adding that on the crease area, but I am still making sure that the blush is still very much visible, and I am just taking turns with the blush brush and the brown just to make sure that the transition is very smooth and that it is well blended. Then taking the black eyeshadow from the Crimson Amulet palette, I'm placing that in the outer corners so that more depth is added, and I'm also just making sure that there are no harsh lines or harsh edges, so I am still blending that in. Using the orange shimmery shade from the same palette, I am placing that all over the lid that has the white eyeshadow still peeking through, so I am placing that almost a bit like 3/4 of the lid. So I finished off with my face, and then I'm going back to my eyes again. I am using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Black Bean and a tiny brush, and I am using that as an eyeliner. And after that, I am just taking a tiny bit of the black eyeshadow and place that on my lower lash line, just about 1/4 of the way in, and then for the rest of the lower lash line, I am using the orange shimmery shade from that same palette. Then I added on some falsies and also placed some mascara, and I am using the NYX blush in the shade Pinched, And this time I'm actually using it as a blush. And then I am taking the highlighter in the Crimson Amulet palette, and I am also using that as a highlighter. For my lips, I used the NYX Liquid Suede Cream lipstick, and I used the shade Sandstorm first, and after that has set in a bit, I topped that off with the same lipstick in the shade Soft Spoken, but just a sheer coat of Soft Spoken. Then I placed on my wig and my elf ears, and I decided to draw on some lines and dots because the elf I made is actually inspired again by warriors. You can use body paint if you have it, or liquid eyeliner if you have it, but I didn't have any of those on hand. Oddly enough, what I had was Creme foundation, so that's what I used, and I just set that with white eyeshadow on top so that it doesn't smear all over. So there you have it. That completes the first elf look, and if you want to go ahead and watch the other two looks as well, please just continue watching. So now we are on to the second elf look, and I have already prepped and primed my face and also did my brows. So the next step is placing on a base. So I use a white base on the places that I want the color to show through. So I'm using color purple for my look, and you can opt out of using a base, but I just wanted to use one because this makes the color even more pigmented and pop. So the next step is to add on color onto the look. So you can use whatever product that you have that's readily available for you, or what's easier for you to work with. Maybe that could be body paint or watercolor, or even eyeshadow. If you have very pigmented eyeshadow, why not, right? What I actually use is liquid lipstick. It's actually the NYX Liquid Suede Cream lipstick, and this one is in the shade Run the World. So what I did is just place a dab on a palette and use my fingers to blend that into the skin, because I feel like that's the best way for it to get blended seamlessly into my skin, and it also makes me have more control of how much I'm blending. If I want more of the pigment, such as creating more depth, then I add just more of the product and not blend as much in those areas, if you know what I mean. The next step that I did is actually optional, but I just wanted to make sure that I did this so that the color doesn't transfer, or that it doesn't budge, or you know, anything like that. So I set the area with a colored eyeshadow that is the same or similar to the color that I placed on earlier. And then now we're moving on to the eyes. As you can see, I placed some powder at the under eye area because I know that I'll be using a glittery and shimmery eyeshadow later on, and I just wanted to make sure that if anything does fall out, I could easily just sweep it away and that it doesn't touch the foundation that I have underneath. So now I am just placing the NYX eyeshadow base to prime my eyes, and then I am setting it with some eyeshadow that is close to my skin tone, and then I am using the NYX blush in Mocha again as a transition shade. I don't know, guys, I just really like it. So I took a pencil brush and made a cut crease using a purple eyeshadow, but I actually went back and forth with the brush that I used for the blush, because even if it is a cut crease, I still want the line to look as smooth and seamless and not just a stamp of purple on top of your eye, you know? And I also made sure to sweep the tail for the cut crease so that it looks like it's winging out. And then I'm using the NYX Concealer all over my lid and making sure, of course, that I am just staying below the line. And I'm also mapping out a sort of wing form just because I think it looks really pretty. You can choose to set the concealer with a skin toned eyeshadow, but I just went ahead and used the baby blue shimmery glittery eyeshadow that I intended. So I am placing that all over the lid below the line area and just covering the whole area that we placed with concealer earlier. I actually really like the shade so much that I just packed that onto my finger and placed that all over my face where I had the purple shades. And I added some falsies and mascara, and I'm also highlighting the high points of my face. So I am using a gold eyeliner and place that on my lower waterline. So now it's just like a fast forward portion of the under eye area with the petals. So I actually use just fake flowers. I disassembled them and spray painted with gold, and I used the inner portion of the flower because they're the smallest, and I just used some lash glue and attached it on my lower lash line. So for my lips, I did not feel like I wanted to use any, well, just any lipstick, so I just went ahead and used some gloss. So this is the NYX Girls Gloss in the shade Pinky Natural. And I'm just actually using my real hair for this one because I think the pink looks so well with the purple. And I actually placed some purple into the elf ears as well. As for the headpiece, it's actually just created with the help of a glue gun and a glue stick. I just laid it on some plastic surface so that I could just take it out easily, and after that I just spray painted it gold. And now we're here for the third elf look, and I am browless, but my face has been prepped and primed already. And here my eyes are actually being set with eyeshadow. I have already placed in some of the NYX Eyeshadow Base, and I am still using the NYX blush in the shade Mocha as my transition shade. I don't know why, but I just really like it. Then using the black eyeshadow from the Crimson Amulet palette, I'm placing that all over my lid, just below the crease area, and then I'm just blending out the edges of the black eyeshadow. And I actually decided to have a redder shade, and that's a bit darker than the blush, so I added more of the shade that I wanted, and then just blend, add more black, blend, add more red, blend. Again, this is just a whole blending type of deal. And here I am still using my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Black Bean and a brush to make my eyeliner. So for this one, this is actually very similar to my second look, but of course I just use a black spray paint for this. And I actually use the outer petals, and before I just used I just covered the under eye area, but this one sort of looks like a mask, so it is like a C shape, I guess you could call it. For my lips, I use the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Monte Carlo, and then I felt like it was too red, so I added some Transylvania in the edges so that it looked kind of ombre-ish. And after that, I actually topped it off with the NYX Girls Gloss in the shade Deep Red because I just felt like it matched so well with the fake blood that I added in later. After I placed on my wig, I actually kind of wanted the contour to be a bit harsher, so I added some black in my contour area for my cheekbones and then just blended it out, and that is my look for the third elf that is cleaner, I guess. And because I am who I am, I added some fake blood. So my fake blood is actually a homemade concoction. It's a mixture of some pancake syrup, some flour or cornstarch, and some food coloring. So if you actually just use red, it is a bright red. And well, blood isn't bright red, it's a deep red. So I added some blue into it, but just be very careful with your proportions because blue plus red is purple, and we want deep red, not purple blood. Well, that would be cool, but you know, for this one. So I just added the fake blood onto like the edges of the petals, into my lips, into the eye, well, not into the eye, but around my eye, and sort of just everywhere really. And there you have it. That's the final elf look. Well, that's for this video, and yeah, I hope you had fun. So that's it for all of those 3 looks, you guys. If you want to recreate them, please go ahead and do so. And that is it. See you in my next video. Thumbs up the video if you liked it too. And yeah, when life throws you bananas, make banana pies, and I hope you keep staying true. Bye, pastries.